Mr. Claus, we have a student loan debt problem that mirrors the housing bubble. Loans were given out freely for a supposed good investment, now going unrepaid. Obama's Band-Aid solution only mildly benefits current students, not the unemployed graduates who have free time to protest and occupy rallies. If we were lied to about, quote, job creators who still aren't stimulating the economy, regardless of the fact that their tax breaks were extended, how do you propose to fix this problem of unemployment that so impacts our educational system? If the student loan bubble bursts, do you think lenders will strangle student loans much the same way banks are tight with home loans?
Well, I think the administration is trying to get banks out of the student loan business for the most part and administer the loans as a federal, not necessarily subsidy, but as a federal operation, which I think is probably a good idea. What I proposed before in answer to another question that you posed is that students, particularly graduating students, should be given the opportunity to work with either a nonprofit or AmeriCorps or the Peace Corps at the normal wages and benefits, but also be forgiven their loans at the rate of $10 per hour worked for those agencies. Over a 1 year period, if you add their 2,000 hours, as I mentioned before, that comes to $20,000 off their student loan debt. I think most students would take advantage of that. It would be good for them if they build a work history. It would be helpful to the nonprofits and also to the federal agencies that I mentioned before.
Don?
It's a very simple problem. Stop all the import and start American industry back in America. You graduate from school, I don't care how much or how little you got a loan for this education. If we've already got, 20 or 30 million people unemployed that are educated and they can't find jobs, there's no room for the new students to move into this, into our financial building of America. We need to stop importing all this stuff from every country in the rest of the world to help their economy and start returning all this, open all the factories here in America and all the industry, for our students. Once they've got jobs, they can pay their loans.
Who's going to hire them? Who's going to hire them?
When you go out and buy a TV set, is it made in Chicago or Tennessee? No, it's made in China, or it's made in Japan or Malaysia. Where are these people that are going to school to learn to be engineers going to get jobs? NASA's shutting down. They don't need engineers anymore.
Okay.
Well, what education are we getting for?
So,
about the only industry out there that's hiring is nursing.
Well, let me ask you this. How are you going to get employers to start companies in this country and only hire American workers? Are you going to mandate it? How are you going to do that? I mean,
I'm going to get them no income taxes on their profit for the first 2 years to get them started.
For startups only?
Yeah, well, for those that are already there and hurting. I want to help them by cutting the taxes they're paying. The income taxes, that is.
Okay.
The property taxes and things that support the local community, they'll still have to pay.
Okay.
But we need to give these companies a chance to get back on some equal competition.
Okay. You're not talking about the monopolies starting these companies.
Yeah.
You are?
Look at the auto industry. With all the foreign auto manufacturers that are here in America, they assemble, not make cars, they assemble. You go look at those cars. They have foreign tires, they have foreign windshields, they have foreign electronics in them. There's nothing in the cars that's assembled. Of course, our American manufacturers can't compete with that. They don't have an equal footing. They're paying American wages to produce 100% of that car, where the foreign companies are 95% of that car is manufactured somewhere else on like $2 an hour or $5 an hour wages. We have to stop selling America. We have to close our borders.
All right.
We have to protect our borders. We have to protect our citizens to bring the jobs back to the people of America.
Okay, James, we're talking about the student loan and the housing bubble, the fact that people who graduate from college can't find jobs. What would you do to help stimulate the economy?
Well, I believe that we need to keep the cash in America. Yes, the New World Order has created quite a dilemma, probably in all countries, because we shipped our technology and our factories to Asia. And what I would do is, and particularly through the Small Business Administration, is that we need to retool and rebuild our factories and we need to take our high technology that we've taken offshore and bring it back to America and start remodeling our roads, our cities, our water, our electrical grids, and put people back to work.
And you're gonna entice companies to do that how?
I would give them a 1% loan. It's a 1% loan, and that you're going to tie your assets to this loan. And if you want to build a new power grid that makes billions of dollars, that you're going to commit yourself, as we're going to commit yourself. And if you fail, we'll take it back. We'll take the power grid that's going to be built to the highest standards available on the planet Earth. And that through the Small Business Administration, we could fund millions of people in the United States who want to have their own little business, which is the foundation of everything. Because if you're making money and I'm making money and he...
Okay, I agree with you. Unfortunately, we're not getting your audio for a second here, so I'm going to interject. I just want to educate people that a small business is anything that grosses $2 million or less in a year. There's certain businesses that will not be able to accomplish their goals if they cannot raise or bring in more than $2 million a year. For example, the energy, anything in utilities, it would be difficult to do very much of anything for $2 million. But maybe we can have tax treatment different for small business than a larger business. Now, let's finish up on the question about student loan debt and how we could stimulate the economy. Go ahead.
Student loan debt, I addressed. The economy part, I would tax businesses at 10%, flat tax, no deductions, no exclusions, no subsidies, no deferments, etc. I would also, for companies that have employees abroad and are doing business abroad, if they have to hire foreign nationals, which they do usually in the country, if it's their host country, that the entire salary amount that they're paying the foreign nationals, they take half of that and send it directly to the Treasury of the United States of America.
What would you do with that money?
I think that would be bringing jobs and some of these companies back home.
Or would you use it to pay off some of our debt?
Probably, yes.
Okay, Don, do you want to talk a little bit about the tax treatment to small businesses?
Yes, the small business is already paying unemployment insurance. They're paying disability insurance to the state. They're paying Social Security and Medicare for the employees. They're supplying them with medical insurance. And all of these, as a downside to the business being able to open the doors. They're laying off more and more people because they can't handle the overhead.
Right.
And
So would you give small business better tax treatment than the larger, more monopolized type businesses?
Yes. I need to get those people started back. As people earn money from the small businesses, they go out and buy those products from the large business. If you've got a job, you're working for a store or you're working for a grocery or you're a farmer and such, you make some money, you go out and buy a car, go out and buy a truck.
Right. Okay.
You buy the house, you go out and
All
buy
right.
some furniture.